Chiefs fans are simply standing in the stands at Arrowhead and saying, this cannot continue.
I get it. I get it. All right? I just had hard-boiled eggs for lunch today. I understand that you saw the amount of food I put down last week and you're worried.
No.
But stop saying this can't continue.
That's not...
I know what those words mean.
Why are you crying? Swamp Watch. Karen traveling Mr. President will be joined by Karen live from Edinburgh, Scotland. And we'll talk about the COP26 climate conference.
Tell her
Hey, I'll show her my dog. That'll be good.
You don't need to show her anything.
You just got to carry it.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get it.
Scotland?
Carrying and will continue. Amy, absolutely. COVID-19 vaccines are safe for kids. One of them, former U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Richard Carmona, says the risk from getting vaccinated is small and minor compared to the potential magnitude of an illness that can kill people. The FDA approved Pfizer's kid-sized doses last Friday. The CDC is expected to make its recommendations tomorrow on who can be vaccinated and what the dose should be. News brought to you by Pacific Coast Termite at 800 Pacific. A judge has denied a request for leniency for a frat brother in the alcohol poisoning death of a student at UC Irvine.
It's very important to send a very strong message.
DA Todd Spitzer says Xavier Brown had asked for misdemeanor diversion to wipe his record clean and avoid 9 months in jail for providing alcohol in 2019 to freshman Noah Domingo.
He died of a .33 alcohol poisoning level. He was 18 years of age, and he was Mr. Brown's responsibility.
Dale Domingo says it's about bringing honor to his son.
My son's dead, and these kids are just going to get slapped in the hand with a misdemeanor.
Lawyers for Brown have not responded to a request for comment. In Orange County, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
LAPD officers have shot and killed a man they say had knives and was cutting car tires in Van Nuys. LAPD spokesman Bruce Borahan says officers responded to a call on Victory Boulevard yesterday afternoon and asked the guy several times to drop the knives.
The officers described those knives as bloody knives. The suspect failed to comply with the officer's orders to drop the knives, and at some point, the suspect advanced towards the officers, and an officer-involved shooting occurred.
The man died at the scene. The knives were booked into evidence. The Environmental Defense Fund has released a new report showing LA County has more orphan wells than anywhere else in California. Orphan wells are oil and gas wells that have been left unplugged because their owners went bankrupt and didn't close them. Senior attorney with the fund, Adam Pelt, says those wells are very hazardous.
Because they're not plugged, they can leak fluid, salt water, oil, methane, volatile organic compounds into the groundwater.
LA County has more than 1,300 orphan wells. A new poll has found most Americans think the U.S. economy is not doing so well. The poll by the Associated Press NORC Center for Public Affairs Research finds 65% of people surveyed say they think the economy is doing poorly. 35% say they think it's going pretty good. Nearly half of the people asked say they expect the economy to get worse in the next year. It's slow in Hollywood on the 101.
Southbound side seeing delays coming away from Santa Monica Boulevard over to the 110, while the northbound side is going to be pretty heavy from Vignes over to the 110. Then again, delays leaving Sherman Oaks from Woodland over to the 405. Also, kind of a busy ride if you're heading along the southbound side of the 5, coming out of Boyle Heights from the 60 over to the 710, with northbound flowing between the 710 and the 101. Southbound 605, a bit crowded as well from Whittier Boulevard over to the 5 freeway. And if you're making the ride out of Riverside, westbound side of the 91, seeing delays here from La Sierra over to McKinley. KFI in the sky helps get you here faster. I'm Jay Owen.
Mortgage rates are really nearing the lowest in history, and it's impossible not to see ads everywhere wanting you to refi.
So True Mortgage wants to help clear all this up. They're urging you, shop around, ask any potential lender the toughest of questions, and then give True Mortgage a call, 833-66-FAST, or ask those same questions point blank.
Maybe you're looking to refinance or take advantage of the equity in your home to pay off high interest rate credit cards and loans. True Mortgage loan consultants will give it to you straight.
In fact, if you're paying anything over 2.5% on your mortgage, shop the market, then call True Mortgage last. You heard that. Give them a call last. See what others can do for you, and then see if True can beat it. That's confidence. They're putting their money where your mortgage is.
Can you believe that? 2.5%? Wow. So shop around, then give True Mortgage a call, 833-66-FASTER, or log on to truenow.com.
833-66-FASTER. Talk to a professional who will help you navigate all that noise and pick what's right for you. 833-66-FASTER, or dial pound 250 and use the keywords True Mortgage.
Sign on the line, DBA True Mortgage is a fair housing lender. NMLS 162-6699.
Southland weather from KFI, mostly cloudy with highs from low to mid-60s at the beaches, mid-60s to mid-70s inland. We'll be back to sunny skies tomorrow afternoon with highs in the mid-60s at the coast, low to mid-70s for Metro LA and inland OC, low to upper 70s for the valleys and inland Empire. We leave local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Amy King.
This is your moment. The first of many moments as a new father to come that really do matter. Moments you'll never forget, and moments you'll never get back. This is your moment to put in the work where it really counts. At home with your newborn. Paid family leave can provide new fathers up to 8 weeks of partial wage replacement to bond with your new baby. This is your moment. Take it. To learn more, visit CaliforniaPaidFamilyLeave.com. Moments matter.
The Delta variant is making COVID-19 spread faster and more easily. Variants can be more contagious, aggressive, and deadly. But we know vaccines work. Vaccinated Californians have greater protection against serious illness, hospitalization, and death. We can help stop the spread and end this pandemic. Get vaccinated and wear a mask when it can protect you and others. Find a vaccine near you at myturn.ca.gov. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Tonight on the CW, 3,400 people disappeared. Something strange is going on that when they return,
I thought it was really nice instead of these other people. We apparently traveled through time.
everything changed.
There's no idea what happened. We're just consistent with reportings of alien encounters.
No.
Know your power and own your gift.
The all-new series 4,400 following All American tonight on the CW.
Starting at 8 o'clock on KCLA 5, the CW.
All this week,
Move over, milk. Now there's almond, oat, hemp, and plant milk. It's utterly confusing. Join KPLA's Lynette Romero as she goes to farms and factories.
Wow, it was eye-opening for me.
To find out just how healthy these products are for you and your family.
You see people putting it into their cereal, people drinking it as a beverage.
How good or bad for the environment. Watch the Dairy Dilemma all this week on KCLA 5 News at 5 p.m. LA's very own.
Go solar with local and veteran-owned Super Solaris. Visit supersolaris.com. Orlando, where?
That's fantastic. All right. Good deal, KFI.
I was thinking I was another scam call, and then I thought, oh no, it's not
Hear the keyword? Text it in for your chance to pocket $1,000
Thank you so much.
from KFI AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
Johnny Test posted yesterday for Halloween.
Is it of them?
Of a couple of dogs dressed up. Johnny Ken loves pet dress-up pictures.
Sure they do. Gary, Shannon, KFI AM 640 live everywhere
They
on
text
the
them to each other all the time.
iHeartRadio app. A couple big election day stories for tomorrow. One of them is that in Minneapolis, voters get to decide how different their city's approach to policing should be. One of the questions on the ballot tomorrow in Minneapolis is whether they want to replace the police department with something called the Department of Public Safety. Just about everybody who was interviewed for a story that I read expressed confusion about what exactly would happen if, in fact, that proposal is approved. They simply don't know. And then, of course, governor's races in New Jersey and Virginia that we're keeping our eye on again tomorrow, election day.
Well, social media erupted today because it looked like President Biden may have fallen asleep during the big climate change conference in Scotland.
That's where we're going to begin Swamp Watch.
Swamp is horrible.
The government doesn't work.
Come on, man.
You make it like a reality TV show.
Quack, quack, quack.
was a bad news. Always a pleasure to be anywhere in Washington, D.C.
Hey, Joe.
The town all too clearly built on a swamp, and in so many ways still a swamp. That's a bunch of malarkey!
Somebody said drain the swamp. I said, oh, that's so. I'll keep yapping, man.
You know the thing.
Well, like we mentioned, a lot of end-of-the-world rhetoric going on there in Scotland. Karen Travers joins us now from ABC News. She's traveling with the president. And Karen, what is the latest?
Yeah, hey, good afternoon, good evening from Edinburgh, Scotland, where the president, a couple miles away from here, is attending a reception tonight hosted by British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. We've apparently seen some shots of some of the royals going into it, so it's a very big affair for all of the world leaders who are in town for this summit. But today, the president had hours of summit sessions, meetings with world leaders on the side, and he delivered remarks a couple of different times. And a key part of his message was that he is here to say that the United States is leading again on the issue of climate change. And he was talking about his domestic agenda, a social spending plan that Democrats negotiated put toward climate investment. That, however, is still, of course, being negotiated, stalled, if you will, on Capitol Hill. A lot of questions then about the president's credibility to come here and talk about leading on the world stage when he's having such a difficult time getting it across the finish line back home.
It's interesting when you look at the different quotes from different world leaders. Boris Johnson saying global warming was a doomsday device strapped to humanity. Of course, Secretary General of the UN, Antonio Guterres, saying people are digging our own graves. It seems like everyone was trying to come up with a cute way to say this is really bad.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they're under pressure from activists, from experts, from their constituencies. People want to see something big come out of this summit. The president was also issuing those types of dire warnings. He says this is not a hypothetical threat, that climate change is already ravaging the world, as he put it, bringing people. Cost here, there's trillions of dollars to deal with the aftermath, the natural disasters, the weather events, and the comparison of how much we need to be invested to start mitigating this. He says it's a clear choice. Start addressing it. Now, there is, as I said, a lot of pressure on world leaders to do something big here, to walk away from this summit, not just committing to what was done in the Paris Climate Agreement 6 years ago, but really moving beyond that. Deeper emissions cuts, faster emissions cuts, and also a commitment to give significant amounts of funding to poorer nations to help them tackle climate change in their backyards.
It seems like the elephant is the elephant that's not in the room. I mean, without involving China in this discussion, it doesn't seem like anything's going to really happen.
And the president called out China yesterday when he was wrapping up his time at the G20 World Leader Summit in Rome. That was an economic summit. They had a big agenda, including supply chain issues, the global economic recovery, and COVID. But climate change was also a topic because they were almost setting the table for all of them going from Rome here to Scotland. And the president, when he was taking questions, he was giving remarks after that wrapped up, called out China and Russia for not being there, said it was a disappointment that they were not part of the meetings and sessions. It wasn't a surprise. China's President Xi has not traveled during the pandemic, so he was not expected. But, you know, the point you make, you need them at the table to really talk about seriously tackling this, especially China, the world's largest polluter.
Karen, do you have any time to do any fun Scotland stuff, or is it all business?
It's a lot of business. We got out for, a solid 40 minutes to grab some very nice pub food, but it's a busy day. The president's still going. He left Rome very early this morning, hit the ground running as soon as he got here, and now they're at this reception tonight. So tomorrow, another busy day of summit sessions, and we're anticipating that he could take questions before heading back to Washington.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
We'll talk. Thanks.
So Senator Joe Manchin actually wants to read what's in those plans.
Oh yeah, he came out and talked about it earlier today in terms of what his plan. He's been one of the I wouldn't say sticking points, maybe a speed bump according to Democrats for the passage
one of
of
the
this.
adults in the room,
Right, because he's not just blindly going to sign off on $3.5 trillion worth of spending.
For the sake of the country, I urge the House to vote and pass the bipartisan infrastructure bill.
Yep.
Holding this bill hostage
Yep.
is not going to work
Yep.
in getting my support for reconciliation bill.
listen, he's just doing what we want them to
He's just
do,
saying, pump
them
the
being
brakes.
people in Congress.
I'd like to see what's in this thing.
Yeah.
You know, if you have to hide it, if you have to hide everything that's in it, then that's a problem.
It's even worse that there are so many people who are just willing to say, I'll take your word for it.
Totally.
I'm just signing off on it because I'm a Democrat and therefore I have to.
Right.
And I'm glad that that there are some people in both parties who would not just simply go along to get along. You mentioned this. It's worth pointing out that while the president was in in Glasgow today, he totally was sleeping.
Well, I get it. Like, he's up there in age, he's traveling internationally, and then sitting through climate talk? Good night, Irene.
There is an image of him sitting there, and his eyes are closed, he's breathing deeply, and then a young staffer, whoever it is, had to be the one who drew the short straw to walk over and pretend to show him something on a phone and lean forward and be like, Mr. President. And Joe Biden has that sort of like, where am I? Look, right when he opens his eyes, and who are you and what's going on?
Is it weird that I used a reference from the 1930s to talk about a Joe Biden story? Unknowingly.
No.
Good night, Irene. When's the last time you've heard someone say that?
I hear you say it all the time. I just didn't know it was from the 90s, 30s.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The 30s.
Good night, Irene. See, there's one.
There's one.
There you get it. Neil says it all the time.
Good Lord.
It's not 90 years old.
No, it just plays one on the radio. Well, he said it too.
More swamp walk.
Maybe that's
when we
where I
come
got
back
it.
To Gary and Shannon. From Neil?
Yeah.
Yeah, blame it on him.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Amy King has the news. The LA County Sheriff's deputies have joined outreach workers and others to clear a homeless encampment on sidewalks around the VA campus in Westwood. Today's cleanup includes relocating the homeless to secure tents and tiny homes on VA's property. The Department of Labor says a rule requiring most workers to get vaccinated against COVID-19 is coming soon. Meantime, about 9,000 New York City workers are on unpaid leave starting today because they haven't had their coronavirus vaccine. A man in Sierra Madre has had a big bear scare that he blames on KFC. He says he came home Saturday to find his front door wide open and a brown bear on his counter helping himself to a bucket of chicken. Another bear was inside and a third was outside. He says he yelled, and the bears left. Got some trouble on the 10 now.
Does the thought of going to the dentist stress you out? Like you've avoided going to the dentist
You know what
because of bad
stresses
experiences?
you out more than a simple trip to the dentist for a cunning teeth in one day procedure?
Pain,
Having a
cost,
garbage,
and blood.
having a garbage mouth.
Yeah, no, I could see. Now is the time to change that. Get some work done. Right now, Cunning Dental is offering $1,500 off all major treatments.
They will soothe all your fears, do your dental work while you sleep. Dental twilight suite, full anesthesia, whatever your pleasure.
They can repair years of neglect in just 1 or 2 appointments. That's how good they are. You just wake up to a beautiful new smile and your teeth fixed.
Dental implants, crowns, root canals, smile makeovers, and the new permanent teeth in just 1 day. Rebuilding smiles for more than 52 years with 4 generations of dentistry.
That's
Cunning
it.
Dental.
$1,500 off major treatments right now, and they have no money down payment plans. Call for details. Some restrictions apply. This offer will expire November 30th. And get this. Get some pearly whites for those holidays, huh?
Ooh.
Zoom teeth whitening with $100 off.
888-640-SMILE, 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 Cunning Dental, making smiles great since 1968.
Right now at Wendy's, see why everyone is raving about their brand new fries. Natural cut, skin on with a hint of sea salt and guaranteed to be hot and crispy or they'll replace them. You know, the way fries should be. Try Wendy's guaranteed hot and crispy fries today at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Cloudy with highs in the low to mid-60s at the beaches, upper 60s to mid-70s inland, a little bit warmer for tomorrow. This report brought to you by Wendy's. Road work in Boyle Heights on the 10th.
Eastbound side right there at the 5, it looks like Caltrans on scene for emergency repairs, taking over that right lane, so things are going to be pretty tough as you're coming away from just about Central. Also, it's a slow ride on the 101 South, coming away from Studio City, from Coldwater Canyon to the 134, and then again delays from Santa Monica Boulevard over to the 110. Northbound side of the 101, also pretty heavy from Laurel Canyon over to the 405. Also, a few delays if you're heading south on the 605, leaving Santa Fe Springs from about Washington over to the 5 freeway. And also some slowing at Apoyta Park, northbound side of the 5, in between Beach Boulevard and Valley View. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm James.
This report is sponsored by Walgreens. Walgreens is making Medicare easier than ever with the new Fund RX coverage tool. Compare plans online, over the phone, or in person for free. Find the plan that's right for you, plus low-cost copays by visiting walgreens.com/Medicare.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. If you've decided to sell your house, I know it is tempting to just get it listed as is or even take one of those cash-out deals. But why sell yourself short when making just the right upgrades will maximize its sale value? You mean like flipping our own home, Dean? We don't have the expertise or the cash for that. I know, but my friends at Revive do. Revive knows exactly what to change, what to spend, and where to spend it. They'll manage everything for you and front all the costs. Yes, Revive fronts the cost. They get paid back from escrow, but the profit gained is all yours. How much profit? The average client makes over 200% profit on what Revive invests on their behalf. It's a no-brainer. Reach out to iloverevive.com today and see if your home qualifies. To make the most from the sale of your home, go to iloverevive.com. That's iloverevive.com.
I heard the Federal Reserve may raise interest rates. Yes, in fact, mortgage rates have already started going up on the rumors.
That's why we just refinanced with Owning. We got a 30-year fixed, 2.5% rate, 2.731 APR. And we also took thousands out in cash to use for a bunch of other things. Owning made the whole process fast and easy.
Wait up! Just wait! I'm going to call Owning and lock in my refi now.
Call Owning at 8332-OWNING or go to owning.com and lock in a 30-year fixed refi at today's 2.5% rate, 2.731 APR. That's 8332-OWNING or owning.com.
NMLS 2611, licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation and the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. Subject to credit approval for qualified borrowers. Call 833-303-2161 for terms and conditions. Equal housing lender.
Call Owning at 8332-OWNING or log on to owning.com. That's 8332-OWNING or owning.com.
California has millions of homes that could be damaged in a strong earthquake, and earthquakes are inevitable in the Golden State. An older home is especially vulnerable to earthquake damage, so you may need to take steps to strengthen it and help reduce the chance of damage. Visit strengthenmyhouse.com to learn about better protecting your home from earthquake damage. The work may cost less than you think and can often be completed in a few days. You've worked hard to get a home. Now's the time to protect it. Get prepared today so you can worry less tomorrow. Visit strengthenmyhouse.com.
If you think all personal injury attorneys are alike, you'd be surprised. All law firms are not the same. I'm Susan Owen, managing partner at OPO Law. For over 4 decades, OPO Law has had a 98% success rate on over 10,000 cases. While insurance companies continue to make lowball offers, we go to bat for you to get you the money you deserve. Fierce pursuit to win for you is our specialty, and we've obtained over $1 billion for injury victims. We don't settle your case for what the insurance company thinks it's worth. We settle your case for what we believe it's worth. If you've been injured in an accident, call 888-OPO-WIN. That's 888-676-9467. Or visit opolaw.com. Remember, you don't pay until we win your case.
OPO Law, the law firm insurance companies fear most.
I'm Susan Owen, and I would be honored to handle your case.
Call 888-OPO-WINS today.
A Florida sheriff is making news because of his sage advice to people who are committing murders.
Just chill out. Drink a 7-Up. Eat a moon pie. Quit murdering people.
Bill Handel.
Whether or not you're killing people or not, moon pies are great.
Mornings from 6 to 10.
Quit murdering people.
Yes, sir.
On KFI.
Everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We're in the middle of Swamp Watch talking about what's going on in Washington, D.C. The Supreme Court today heard arguments regarding Texas's controversial abortion ban. And it's interesting because it looks as if, I mean, just based on some of the questions that were asked by the Supreme Court justices today, that they would be ready to allow abortion providers to challenge the law in federal court. I mean, the case that they were hearing today doesn't deal directly with whether or not the Texas law is legal. It's whether the Department of Justice and the abortion providers can even bring federal lawsuits against Texas or state officials in an effort to block the law. Remember, one of the reasons, or one of the ways that they wrote the case was,